a final push to encourage potential voters to register and to galvanize party support ahead of the election. The IFP strengthening its presence in its traditional strongholds. Party President Velenkosini Hlabisa crisscrossed the city to monitor voter registration. This will be Hlabisa's first election at the helm of the IFP, and he's confident they will fare well. The party has been on an upward trajectory since 2016. Having been dealt a blow in 2011, the IFP managed to regain control of 11 municipalities in 2016, and it became the official opposition in the province. Hlabisa says the party has done a thorough analysis on the ground and credits their success in municipalities they govern to holding councillors accountable.
In 2016, it was not a surprise to the IFP that we came back with 13 municipalities out of 2 municipalities we had won in 2011. It was a confirmation that our targets, our planning was on point.
Hlabisa also stressed the importance of not only a free and fair but also peaceful election. He called for tolerance. Past elections saw a rise in political violence in KZN, and more recently the province was gripped by civil unrest.
Let us all spread a message of peace. Allow people express their views, not impose on people which political party to vote for, not to make people not have a free will to decide.
The party also expressed its satisfaction with the number of young people who have registered to vote, over 1.1 million of them in KwaZulu-Natal. However, the concern from the Electoral Commission is the number of first-time voters, which stands at just over 49,000. Ayanda Mhlongo, SABc News, Durban.
EFF leader Julius Malema says his party will take control of the eThekwini metro after the local government elections. Malema visited a number of areas around Durban, including Phoenix, during his party's voter registration campaign.
Phoenix, north of Durban. The area came under the spotlight when 36 people were killed during the unrest that engulfed KwaZulu-Natal in July. It was Malema's first stop in the province. He addressed his supporters at this polling station, calling for calm and tolerance. The EFF leader later monitored the registration process in Umlazi, south of Durban.
The IC people were writing people on notepads. That's how bad the situation was, and they were trying to improvise. This is a high risk, but it is worth taking, and we hope that if this thing has affected us broadly, national, we may want to extend the registration online.
Malema says the EFF will increase its support in KwaZulu-Natal.
The EFF has become an alternative to the ANC, and we don't require to be an official opposition for us to take over. The signs are there, eThekwini is gone, it belongs to the EFF.
Malema concludes his 2-day visit to the province on Sunday. Simpiwa Makanya, SABc News, Durban.
The National Freedom Party is confident it will regain municipalities it lost in 2016. The party did not enter the 2016 local government elections after it failed to register.
Once a political force, the NFP is now a shadow of its former self. The party was crippled by internal strife and recently suffered a severe blow with the passing of its founding leader, Sandile Swana. The NFP failed to register for the 2016 elections and paid a heavy price, but it says it's now poised to regain lost ground.
One of those municipalities is Zululand District Municipality, Utuwela District Municipality, and Umkanya District Municipality. But also we're hoping to do well here, even here in eThekwini. That's why we're here today.
Mdletshe says they are currently focused on the upcoming poll and will deal with the election of the new leader after the elections.
At the moment, our focus is on the elections. We are not going to dwell much on the president's departure. Our main focus is to do well in these elections. Our main focus is to win the wards here in eThekwini and other parts of South Africa. And we'll deal with the issue of the presidency after the elections.
The NFP is contesting in all provinces, with the exception of the Northern Cape. Bongani Kema, SABc News, Durban.
Well, to talk to us about some of the many campaigns that gained pace tonight is political analyst Sandile Swana. Mr. Swana, very good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the Globe.
Oh, thank you so much. Good evening, Cynthia.
Well, KZN seems to be a very hotly contested province. So how much of a fair game is KZN? I mean, can opposition, disappoint the ANC there?
To a degree, yes. To a degree, absolutely. You must remember that what has already happened is that the support that the ANC is now enjoying has gone down to probably the 2006 level. So it has not actually strengthened its supports by 2016. Its support had actually dwindled a little bit. Secondly, in recent local government elections, more especially around the Durban metro and southwards of Durban, the EFF has been eating into the support of the African National, or let's not maybe put it that way, let's say it has increased its own support. So the issue here is whether the ANC can actually fall below 50%. And that is the issue. That is really the issue that has plagued the African National Congress in all the metros, because now it is more of a 40% type party when it comes to the metros.
But then can we attribute the ANC's potential, successes in KZN to the divisions within the party?
The divisions in any party, whether it's the NFP, IFP, and then the ANC itself, all of the parties that have had serious divisions have actually suffered in KZN, have actually suffered in the polls. When the ANC had severe divisions in Swana specifically, it lost the metro. So divisions in any political party so far, what we've noticed is that it causes the party that has got the divisions to start losing wards and losing PR representatives in a municipal election.
But then do you reckon that the ANC was thrown a lifeline with the extension of the candidate nomination list deadline?
If that process succeeds completely, it is a big lifeline. They will be able to salvage some of the wards by simply being able to contest them. We saw what happened to the NFP when they were unable to contest, and they are trying to rise from the grave even as we speak. So it is a very dangerous place to be when you are not registered, when you've not paid the deposits and all the issues. And let us then add that whilst they've been thrown that lifeline, I don't think they are using the lifeline properly, because we are still discovering that people are still being shot dead whilst participating in ANC meetings. There are disruptions, there are protests, and if history is anything to go by, people are even shot on election day when it comes to this contest about the list of the African National Congress.
And the level of intimidation in KwaZulu-Natal with the political killings and threats there seems to have heightened. So will this affect the final outcome of the election?
I think it will affect the immediate final outcome, and it might affect the outcome even in the medium to longer term. Because you must remember that people can still mobilize inside the ANC and recall somebody who has already been elected and force a by-election. And all sorts of things can happen, all sorts of chaos can happen. Others can also die in office, can actually be killed whilst they are in office. So being unable to quiet and make peace to prevail inside the structures of the list process causes medium to long-term processes, even if you achieve a positive result on election day.
Well, remember that the party failed to register all of its ward candidates in 4 municipalities, before the Constitutional Court, extended the nominations, the nomination process, and it failed to register its ward candidates in municipalities under the Zululand District Municipality, Upongolo, Abaqulusi, and Kwanongoma, and as well as Ulundi. But it seems that the IFP seems to have made headway in all those municipalities. Just how much of a threat is the IFP? To the ANC?
The IFP in KZN is a major threat, and there are historical reasons for that.
Yes.
The IFP, what some people may not know about the IFP, is that the IFP has over time proved to be very good administrators and managers of whatever entity they've been given to manage. So you may have taken their picture from previous pre-1994 understanding of the IFP, but when they were in government in KZN, they've done well, and they have a lot of respect in the communities. So they are a very worthy and capable opponent, competitor of the African National Congress in KZN. And with the ANC in disarray as it is now, the IFP is very likely to capitalize on that and make probably very good progress.
Mr. Swana, if for argument's sake the ANC loses the eThekwini Metro, which is a hotly contested metro, how much of an influence would that be, maybe the incoming party have in terms of the policy direction of that particular metro, and would it have any adverse effects on the running of that particular municipality and by extension in KZN?
In KZN, if the ANC were to lose the metro of Durban, the Durban metro, its influence on policy will be significantly diminished, because my suspicion is that you would have 2 very good administrators, being the DA and the IFP, probably going into a coalition. And that coalition will not need much input from the ANC to run a very successful metro in Durban. So if the ANC were to make a mistake and not be able to form its own coalition successfully in the Durban metro after these elections, then it might as well kiss the Durban metro goodbye for quite some time.
All right, Mr. Swana, lovely chatting to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Good evening.
That was a political analyst, Sandile Swana, just speaking to us about, the ANC's influence in KwaZulu-Natal, in particular in the Durban metro.